Contrast sensitivity is a critical but underutilized metric of visual health because we lack an objective, sensitive, and easily administered test. Gaze Engine has developed a clinical stage device with the potential to be the gold standard test for contrast sensitivity. Our device will make contrast sensitivity assessment routine, leading to improved diagnosis, early intervention, and efficient evaluation of new treatments. Lost contrast perception is more impairing than acuity loss, and it typically arises earlier in visual disease. Despite acuity's relative insensitivity to grade many visual diseases, it remains the standard metric of visual impairment. Contrast sensitivity tests have been developed. However, the chart contrast tests are fast but subjective, and laboratory tests are more objective but not clinically feasible because they are tedious. To meet this need, Gaze Engine has developed Gradiate, which uses a proprietary computer algorithm to rapidly detect evidence of seeing from eye tracking of moving stimuli, and determines the limit of ability by rapidly changing stimulus visibility until they can no longer be seen. Gradiate generates a contrast sensitivity function with metrics of its shape and a novel measure we call concuity, which is a combined contrast and acuity metric that efficiently grades impairment with a single statistic. Gradiate sales will proceed before medical device approval, but sales for vision health applications will be augmented by trial validation of Gradiate for use in standard vision exams and regulatory clearance. Once these markets are established, we plan to form commercial partnerships in disease diagnosis and the design and assessment of optical device and neural disease. The current U.S. chart test market is $500 million to $1 billion per year, billed at an average of $35 per test. We anticipate that Gaze Engine can grow this market after regulatory approval because of Gradiate's performance advantages over chart tests. Conservatively, if we captured only 10% of U.S. ophthalmologists billing only $35 for Gradiate in only 10% of their appointments, we would generate more than $15 million per year. Similarly, if only 10% of U.S. optometrists billed $35 for Gradiate in only 10% of their appointments, Gaze Engine would generate more than $140 million per year. Among the advantages for providers of using Gradiate would be that the detection of visual dysfunction would lead to follow-up diagnostic tests that would also be reimbursed. Gradiate's competitors are companies that market chart contrast sensitivity tests, which are fast and inexpensive but lacking in test precision. Laboratory psychophysical tests are not practicable for clinical use due to their burdensome testing procedures. By comparison, Gradiate captures the precision of laboratory tests and the efficiency of chart tests, and is the only contrast sensitivity test that has been successfully used with the large population of non-communicative subjects. The enabling research for Gradiate was funded by grants from the National Institutes of Health. The research was conducted at the Burke Neurological Institute, which patented key intellectual property. Moving forward, we plan to acquire non-dilutive federal funding to support the clinical validation of Gradiate, and use seed and venture capital funding to complete FDA device approval and CMS-compliant billing approval. We expect to generate sufficient revenue from these partnerships to attract a large cap acquisition in the vision health space. Gaze Engine is a self-funded academic startup founded in 2023. It is backed by a novel invention, IP protection, and peer-reviewed research publications that has brought our testing device to technical readiness level 6. Our future tasks are to option and license the IP from our institutional partner and hire the key staff to administer the clinical safety and cohort validation trials that will justify regulatory clearances. We will begin device sales this year in advance of FDA clearance, and expect both device sales and build use to dramatically increase in 2026-27 after regulatory approval. The management team consists of founding vision scientists who have business experience inventing and marketing visual testing devices for laboratory rodents and in commercial gaming software. In addition, we have a business advisor with extensive experience in medical biotechnology and an operations manager with experience marketing vision testing devices. Grant and self-funding over the past 5 years was crucial for building the business potential of Gaze Engine. Going forward, a combination of non-dilutive grant funding, seed funding, venture funding, and device sales revenue will enable Gradiate's engineering and clinical validation to acquire FDA and medical billing approval. As funding increases, expenses will also increase, but we anticipate profitability by 2028. In summary, Gaze Engine's goal is to improve the standard of vision care with Gradiate, a patented eye-tracking based device that automates, quantifies, and interprets visual contrast sensitivity. Patients will benefit from Gradiate with improved disease diagnosis, prognosis, and treatment, and medical providers will benefit from improved metrics, improved patient outcomes, and increased revenue. Gaze Engine will pursue opportunities for pre-clearance device sales and to secure $1 million in SBIR-STTR non-dilutive funding for clinical validation of Gradiate in disease populations. In addition, we aim to solicit $6 million in seed and venture funding to complete device engineering, fund company operations, and to complete the process of device and billing regulatory approval.